Hello there, my beautiful pumpkins, and welcome back to the Pumpkin Patch. If you're new here, hello, my name is Kloee Taylor, and I am your favorite tarot card reader here on YouTube. And with this reading, I'm so excited because I actually sat beforehand and kind of channeled what this reading was going to be about. So I'll go over that with you before we get into like the selectors and such. But I also just wanted to say right here in the beginning of this video, thank you so much to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. So what is this reading going to be about? We pulled out the notebook, okay? We pulled out a notebook and I sat in meditation with my own deck of tarot cards, and I asked your guides and my guides what you needed to know about right now. So I don't even know what we're titling this reading, but these are the 5 points that we're going to be going over. So number 1 is what blessings and success is coming your way right now. Number 2 is what in your life is changing. Number 3 is who or what is leaving your life. Number 5 is what, this one was kind of weird, or excuse me, number 4 was kind of weird that it came through as like a big announcement, and it said, like, I wrote down what next big announcement or level up is coming. I feel like the instance that I got from this one was like, what in your life, like what thought process is changing, what emotion is changing in your life that is going to lead you to the biggest up level, or like maybe even a healing or a clearing in your life. But this one was like very loud. So that's like the best way I know how to describe what I channeled. So we'll get into that one. And then number 5, lastly, is something your guides just really need you to know right now. So we're going to get into all of that. And I just wanted to kind of point out what the order is here. So pile number 1, you have the Create card. Pile number 2, you have the Manifestation card. And pile number 3, you have the Stillness card. And I feel like Spirit actually really played a number on these, because I swear to you, I had these organized differently, and there must be something about that. Like in my head, these were supposed to be positioned differently, but this is how they got laid down, and I didn't notice until right now. So Spirit is really out here picking the order as well. But in any case, you can choose 1 pile, you can choose all 3, you can choose 2 piles, whatever you felt drawn to the most is always what I would tell you to do, is kind of go with your first inclination. But if not that, you can look at the timestamps or the emojis down below and see which of those actually fits for you. You can also decide based off of these card suggestions. They will play a role in your reading. So I would say, you can definitely use that as a guide, but just know that you're never going to choose wrong, and that it's completely okay to choose more than one. So I'm going to go ahead and churn up some meditation music for you, and then we're going to get into it, starting with pile number 1. All right, so pile number 1, if you chose the Create card, this is going to be your pile. And I just want to say right in the beginning of your reading, thank you so much to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. Every deck that you see that we're going to use today actually comes from Tarot Stack. They are a wonderful company that I always jump at the chance to work with, because I believe that not only are they a very integral company, but they basically get independent creators that like make tarot decks, independent artists and creators. They help to get their decks out there to your hands, to other people. And I feel like it's just such like a worthy cause and such a wonderful place to shop from. It's like honestly like supporting small business. So I would highly encourage you to take a look. If you see any decks today that you like, know that every single one that I show you is from there today. They will all be linked down below, and you can save a little bit if you use my coupon code at checkout. So definitely check it out. Thank you again so much, Tarot Stack. Now let's get into the video. So if you chose the create card, this first thing is basically your something that like is coming to bless or like you're going to gain success in this area of your life. So we have creates, we have growth, and set intentions. So I feel like these cards together actually really tell a story. And I love the cultivation of your reading because number one, if you chose the create card, you might be somebody that is deeply creative or wants to create a lifestyle that is built off of your creative endeavors. And I just want to say something that we are in a time period in history where the martyr artist or the starving artist, that archetype is dying. And it's because it is becoming more and more and more common that people are able to make lifestyles from their creative endeavors and do so in really successful ways that actually support them. So I just want to say, if you chose this pile and you are somebody that is wanting to build a life off of your creativity, the first thing you need to know is that it is fully in your hands. You are fully capable of making this real. And the thing is, all you need to do is grow it. Stop asking yourself the question, like I heard this from your guides. Stop asking yourself the question of if it's for you or if it's going to work out, because it will. There is nothing in this universe that you desire that it just frankly isn't for you. And you can literally manifest anything that you want, whether it is for good or for worse, like it ends up being a terrible experience. I'm not saying that this is going to be a bad experience. I'm just saying in general, there's this concept that I hear sometimes where people talk about like, oh, if you can't manifest it, it's just not for you. And that's actually not real. Like that is an outdated way of thinking, and it is an outdated paradigm of manifestation. You can literally have whatever you want in this lifetime, literally anything. And you are the co-creator. So bearing that knowledge in mind, if you desire to be a creative and that be your lifestyle and to like make things with your hands or do art, you can make a lifestyle on that. You can make this the thing that you wake up every day, or, you know, when you feel tuned into it to create, you can make that. It's not just for a select few people. We live in a time period in history where it's easier than ever to be an artist. And I say that, or a creative, which however you want to phrase it, it's easier than ever. I'm not saying that that means that you don't have to put work in on your own behalf, but it's easier than ever in the sense that getting your name out there is literally the click of a button now. We have everybody, for the most part, not everybody, but many people have cell phones now in this day and age. And most of those people also have social media. And it puts us in the realm of being able to share our work abundantly. And I also am hearing from you, like your guides, that you also might have a belief that the market is oversaturated. And Spirit is literally telling you with this reading that that is a belief that you need to get rid of. You need to stop saying it to yourself, because the market is not too saturated. We are always going to need more art. And don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. Now, I am hearing the word consistency for you because we have growth and set intention. So for you to actually create this, the success, this is like how the success is going to come, is you have to continue to grow this thing. And even from like the perspective, I'm a digital entrepreneur myself. And just like something I want to say that Spirit is prompting me to remind you of, I really believe in entrepreneurship. I am somebody that I've been an entrepreneur for over 10 years doing different things, and it's something that I really believe in. To me, it creates freedom in your life, and it's freedom on your own terms. But something that frustrates me to no end when I see it is when people say like, oh, my product's not selling, or, oh, it's not working. My things aren't out, like it's not working. But then you go to that person's page that's making the art or selling the product, and they've posted about it like twice. When this is the thing that you really believe in, and like it's something that is going to help someone else, or it's something that's going to add to the collective song that you create, you have to be the one that puts yourself out there and keeps hitting it over and over and over. And consistency is how you will grow this thing. And I know that because you don't plant a seed in the ground and then walk away. Like, yes, of course, you could argue that like weeds seem to grow like that. But for the most part, if you want something to bear fruit to you, you have to tend to that. You have to decide to make sure that it gets water, proper sunlight, that it's pruned or taken care of. You have to be the one that is the caretaker of this creativity. So that is something that I think you just really need to hear, that consistency over anything, consistency in returning to it over anything. And with set intention, you need to let yourself dream a little bit bigger. You're dreaming too small, and it's actually holding your success back. So it's like plant the seeds, but also tend to the seeds and overcome limitation. This is also an area that you will be successful, is like overcoming these limitations with practice. So I love that. This is great. The next thing is what in your life is currently changing. So we have the Knight of Stars. Also, can we just talk about how much I love this deck? This deck is one that this is a deck that I like use on myself. This camera does not do these cards justice. Like, these cards are gorgeous. Like, they're already gorgeous on camera. They are even more gorgeous in person. They're like very gold, iridescent-y with like watercoloring. They're so pretty. One of my favorite decks from Tarot Stack, to be honest. And I know that this camera is going to kind of make them look a little darker than they are. They're brighter in person. Okay, so we have the Knight of Stars, we have the Chariot, we have the Page of Wands, and we have Death. So, what in your life is currently changing? Well, the Knight of Stars, this is like, I feel like this is, you're removing your fears about money, because the Knight of Stars is somebody who is not afraid to seek financial compensation. And this is something that in today's world, a lot of people have a lot of shame around it. And every time I talk about this on my channel, people are up in my comments saying the most disrespectful shit back to me. Fact of the matter is, like, you don't have to decide to believe this way, but I'm going to present to you a way of thinking about this that could stand to benefit you if you decided to try it. But that's up to you. You have your own free agency and can decide what to believe. Just don't put people down for wanting like better financially for themselves, because there's nothing wrong with that. As somebody that has lived in actual poverty in my adult life, there is nothing wrong with wanting to seek that level of safety for yourself. And the Knight of Stars tells me that this is something that's shifting for you. You have maybe thought about finances in one way for most of your life. And once again, I feel like this is something that has kept you really small. And you're deciding to think differently about it. And you're challenging the status quo and the belief systems around it that you have held. The Chariot says that you're also chasing a new destiny. Like, your destiny is actually changing. And it's really fascinating because I think this is something that's happened over time for you. You, like, maybe at one time in your life were really focused on something specific, and your destiny, it was kind of like halfway there, and now it's like fully changing into something else. And I also just want to remind you that this is very normal. I think that a big conversation that nobody's having, I have not heard one other person talk about this. And if they have, I just haven't come across them yet. I'm not saying that the thought is original and that nobody has said it, but something that I will like die on this hill and reincarnate on this hill and stand on it again is that the days of having one divine purpose for your entire life are gone. And that's a beautiful passing thought. But the fact of the matter is, we live longer now as a species. And it's also way more common to shift the things that you want to do in your life because we have access to more knowledge than we've ever had access to before. Where somebody, it might take them all of their life to master one art form, which you could still do that. But now we have such access to resource. We have such access to knowledge that you could master an art form over a 15-year span and then move on to something else. So recognize that it's okay for things to change. I feel like we started to see this maybe like in the last like 15 years where people even in college just like would change their majors a lot. And there was a lot of people that were condemned for that. I myself fell in that category. I didn't even end up graduating from college because I recognized that I liked doing freelance more than I liked working towards getting a degree. But there's no shame if you decided to get a degree. But the thing is, so many people would say like, oh, you know, at 18, you pick that one job and you keep going for it and keep going for it and keep going for it. When in reality, it's so normal to change your major. It's so normal to change your field of interest. It's so normal to decide that you don't want what you once wanted and to decide to master something else. So the Chariot tells me, though, that your destiny is actually changing. Like, this is a change that is coming up in your life that it might feel scary right now as you're going through the death process. So not literally the physical, like actual death. The death card talks more about a transformation of the self. And the reason that this is also taking place in your life right now is because it's giving you your confidence back. You have really, maybe even since like 2020, you have lost a lot of your confidence and self-esteem. And Spirit is saying that the change that's happening is you are going through a financial change. You're going through a literal destiny change in what you're deciding to dedicate your time to. But you're also going through, with the Page of Wands, a change of confidence and how you see yourself. And lastly, with the changing, this is a really interesting message that just came to me like right now in the moment. But you also are somebody that's very dedicated to the rebirthing process. You might even have like strong Scorpio placements in your chart. I see this a lot in Scorpio energy, where you're very dedicated to the rebirth process, to getting as deep can go and then rebirthing again. And this is a great thing. It can be like so serviceable. It can be such a wonderful thing to like shed past layers of yourself. But I think that something in you that's changing is you're also starting to learn that you actually really love who you are right now. And you would rather work to amplify those qualities versus trying to delete all these things that you would like to not have. Like, it's kind of just like a flip of a switch, I'm hearing. So really interesting. But let's keep going. So that's what is majorly changing in your life right now. And next we have what or who is leaving your life right now. So what I think is so funny is you got literally every single one of these cards in the reverse. I do think that this is a person that's leaving your life. And reversals are not a bad thing. It's all right if cards come out reversed. But we have the reversed Empress. We have the reversed Eight of Pentacles. And the reverse Strength card. So the reversed Empress, I honestly think this is your mom or like a motherly figure. Definitely somebody who like represents feminine energy. They don't have to be male or female. It's not a gendered thing. And they're leaving very quickly, I'm hearing. I just looked up from my desk and there is this huge, oh, hi, meaties. Y'all, a couple of things. I'm sorry that we're getting interrupted. My cats are probably going to be in my readings a little bit more right now because it is summertime. My house does not have air conditioning. And I cannot work with my door closed. It makes it too hot in here. So my cats probably will pass in and out of my readings for like the next several months. So if you hear my cat screaming, that's why. This is my Gemini cat. He loves to talk. His name is Archimedes. We call him Meaties. You'll probably hear him the most because he literally will hear you talking, run into the room and also start talking. He just likes to talk. But also, I looked up from my desk and there was this yacht because I live on the water. There was this yacht like speeding through my harbor, and you don't see that every day here. So, this to me is a symbol from your guides that this exit of your life, what is exiting, is coming very quickly. So the Empress, I do think this is a mother-like figure. And this doesn't mean that like literally you're going to lose your mom. I'm not like, no. But it might be the person that you are that like carries your mother's traits. So hear me out. You might think that you're nothing like your mom. However, I feel like it takes time and dedication sometimes to see it. And this message might just not resonate right here for some of you. But Spirit is ultimately saying that with the Empress, any ways in which you have picked up patterns or habits from your mother or a mother-like figure that are not serving you in your life right now and where you're going, you are getting rid of those. Those are leaving your life. And maybe you've been a mother caretaker, right? You have been like parentified and had to take care of your mom. That is something that you're no longer going to be participating in. Like, I feel like I'm being called to share this experience with y'all really quick. And just this is something that you might experience in the coming months. So take this for what it is. When I first moved into this house, and this does have to do with your reading, so just hear me out. When I first moved into this house last November, I kept having dreams that my parents were dying. Like over and over, I would have dreams that my dad would die, and then I would have a dream that my mom died. And then I would have a dream that my dad died, and then I'd have a dream that my mom died. And it was really like, it wasn't like it was like brutal, like it wasn't like a murder or anything like that. It was like they were dying of like health problems, health decline. And to be fair, my mother does have health concerns. So does my father. They are both, my father is a cancer survivor several times over, and my mother was recently diagnosed with cancer this year or the end of last year. So like they are not in the best health, but like at first I thought, oh my gosh, that must just be what it's about. I'm just freaked out about my parents passing away. But then somebody pointed out to me in my local community when I was talking to them about this. I love where I live. I have like the coolest community of people around me. They were saying, you know, I used to really think like a lot of weird things about my dreams, but it wasn't until somebody told me that when you dream, it's just an aspect of you that you're dreaming about. When people die or are rude to you or are protecting you, or it's just an aspect of yourself. Like see it as yourself. And I'm getting the chills as I'm talking about this. But when this like turned on a light bulb for me, and I realized that in my lifetime, my parents were dying in my dreams because the archetypes that they served in my life had truly left, and they were in the process of finishing. And they're still in my life. I still have relationships with both of my parents, but I do not live to serve them. I do not live because I'm trying to impress them or get love from them, or I don't live to try to basically make my lifestyle impressive to them. I live for myself and who I am and what I want, which up until that point was not the case. I feel like I was constantly living to try to impress them, to garner their love. And it's very common. A lot of people do this and they're unconscious of it. I was unconscious of it for many years, but it was after that moment I realized, oh my gosh, I really do live life on my own terms. I'm really not doing anything anymore to impress my parents. I don't really care if they know what I'm doing, who I'm seeing, where I'm going. Like, I just don't care to even give them that knowledge because we're just not close like that. And honestly, I come from like a very abusive household. So that was like so powerful for me that I wasn't constantly living out this, I have to do this to impress so and so. And for you, it could be something very similar. Maybe you behave in a certain way or people please because your mother taught you to people please. This is something that is going to be ending in your life. And the Eight of Pentacles, it's like also overdoing it. Like I'm getting the sense we're also taught by your mother to always be like, maybe always working on yourself, always a self-improvement project. Maybe you always felt like because like maybe your mom or a mother figure really pushed you to work really hard. And because of that, you have like committed your life to working harder than you needed to. With the reverse Eight of Pentacles, that's kind of giving me this, like, you actually don't have to work as hard as you think. And the Strength card, you also don't always have to be the strong one. I feel like there's something about like never allowing yourself to cry or never allowing yourself to break apart or never allowing like, and that's such a, like, there are so many people even in my comments that will say things like that. Like, my parents didn't allow me to cry, so I can't cry. Even now it's difficult. And something I want to say to that is just remember when you have the urge to cry, it's not your body defying you. It's your body's natural response to helping you release cortisol out of your body. This is why you also might like shake when you're in an intense situation. It's your body's somatic response to help you re-regulate. So if you can reframe that crying isn't weakness and that you're allowed to do it and it's your body's natural response, I feel like that could change the lives of so many people. But I also think it's not an overnight thing. And some of the things that we're talking about in this reading are very serious. And if I could say anything, like just coming from a situation where I have a really weird and intense relationship with my own mother, like, you will be okay. Things will be okay. Like, you will be able to like transmute this and you will be able to become free. And the next question we have is that next big announcement. So remember I said that Spirit had like something serious to say? We have the card for you. Everyone in your life is teaching you something. Are you learning? So even the relationships that feel really hard, they're teaching you something. And I feel like sometimes, even talking about what we were just talking about, my own parents taught me how to hug a porcupine, like basically how to love people that act like they don't need it or don't deserve it. Sometimes they need love the most. Not to say that you need to go out of your way and do that. I think it's like, I would never tell somebody to like go back to their abuser and be like, oh yeah, let me just love on you. No. Obviously that's going to have a lot of nuance around it, but Spirit is saying that you need to remind yourself that everyone in your life is a teacher. And even the situations in your life that frustrate you the most, those are some of your biggest lessons. Like, to give you an example of this, I used to get so frustrated when anybody in my life would tell me that they were like having a rest day. And it would make me so mad. And in the beginning, I would be like, why do I feel like this? Like, my husband's resting. He should be allowed to do that. My friend is resting. They should be allowed to do that. My sibling is resting. They should be allowed to do that. And it shouldn't cause such like ire in me. And something that I learned from that was that I was actually very envious because I was constantly overworking myself, being hyper productive. I felt like I couldn't stop. And I was envious. I was envious because I deeply wanted rest myself. And when I finally realized that, it made me reestablish everything I was doing in my life so that I could honor that, so I could take a rest if I wanted to. And I'm still working on that, but I feel like it has gotten significantly better. I take more break days than I used to. And that's what I mean. Like, even when you're envious or jealous or angry, or they're always teaching you something. And this thought can literally transform your entire life if you decide to look at things a little more objectively. And lastly, something your guides need to tell you. This card is special. This one comes from the, I wanted to say it's the Ocean Dreams Oracle by Danielle Noel. And you got Lemurian Waters. So I'm actually going to read this one to you from the book because I do not know all of these cards. And the book is like so beautiful and delicate, and the descriptions are so good that I would rather just read from the book. So let's go ahead and do that. Lemurian Waters. This one says, soul gifts, embodied alchemy, and abundance. I am a conductor of many frequencies. I am receiving new wisdom that quietly dwells within me. At a cellular level, the inner waters that flow deep within the chambers and veins of the earth are still encoded with the ancient language of Lemuria. Like crystals that contain the many whispers of time, some believe that our bodies also hold information in a similar way. As we each have the ability to transmit and absorb many frequencies, we are living conductors after all. All water is a continuous cycle of transformation and has been rebirthing its essence since time immemorial. As living beings, we are distilled with this life-giving magic. The sacred codex that was once found in the ancient Lemurian waters can be activated still through our own visualization or subtle or deeper remembrance. This card indicates a time of significant spiritual growth and inner healing. It is a powerful omen that crosses many sands of time and wisdom and teachings that have long been lost. You are being given a glimpse of an ancient world that also exists within you, a place where a language of love is shared with all to remind you that you are part of a sacred beauty that is imbued in every atom, particle, and the deeper structure of creation. If you feel a strong familiarity with the land of Lemuria, there is knowledge now rising to the surface that wants your attention. This is no mere coincidence. You are entering a fertile period of your life where immense activations are channeled through you. You are transmuting the lessons you have experienced into crystalline waters of truth. As you walk the earth with a deep sense of knowing and trust, everything unfolds to initiate you into a higher state of awakening. Even every thought, step, and movement. As you reconnect with the fragments of time that are mapped along your soul journey, you reactivate a remembrance that calls you home here and now, forever and always. So that's what your guides really wanted you to know. And that is the reading that I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to check out Tarot Stack if you liked any of these decks. They're all wonderful, beautiful. I've used them all numerous times. Can confirm, wonderful, wonderful decks. And thank you again to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to get more of me around the web, I put out a weekly horoscope, like astrology and tarot scopes and bibliomancy, over on my Patreon if you would like to join. And we also do a monthly community event where we all come together and hang out. Oftentimes I do like astrology chats where you can bring your chart to the stream and I will help you look over your charts. I don't know exactly what we're doing this month for our community event yet, but we're going to figure it out within the next week or so and there'll be an announcement. But yeah, every month we like meet together. It's super cute. And then there's just like so much more. I love my Patreon community. Y'all are seriously the best. So if you feel like you want to be a part of that and you want to support me as a small creator, I would really appreciate it. I also have my course available to you, The Authentic Self. It's on my website, KhloeTaylor.com. And you can also book same day personal readings with me, or fast readings rather. It's like within 48 hours of order you receive that if you would like a personal reading with me. And you can also check out my socials because I am your favorite tarot card reader. I'm at Kloee Taylor all around the web if you would like to follow me. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, though it seems like Twitter is a dumpster fire and we might be leaving her. I don't know yet. Messy on Twitter. But you can choose to follow me there, and I would certainly appreciate it. And I also have my podcast, Divine Authenticity, available to you every single Monday morning, 4:44 a.m. This last episode we did was an Ask Kloee segment where I did a bunch of advice that y'all asked for. Y'all sent in questions to me and asked for advice, and I gave it back. Or I answered all of it, and it was a really good episode. So definitely check that out. It's available everywhere you listen to podcasts. And I feel like I need to go ground after your reading. So I'm sorry if I sound like my head is in the clouds. It's because I feel like it is. I'm going to go outside before pile number 2. But thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you in the next one. Bye. I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you so much to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. Every deck that you see that I use in this video today is actually from Tarot Stack. They are a website that they sell independently created tarot decks. So it's like supporting a small business when you buy from them. And you can get really unique tarot decks that you don't see anywhere else. And it's just a really integral cause, I feel like. So I always jump at the chance anytime Tarot Stack wants to work with me. And truly, every single deck that you see in this reading today, I use these on my own time. I read for myself with them. And these are all some of my all-time favorites. The foiling is beautiful. The cardstock is really wonderful. They are well-made tarot cards, and the art is very pretty. So if you would like to get a tarot deck for yourself, be sure to check them out. Link is going to be down below along with a coupon code, and every single deck that I use today will be linked in the order of appearance. So let's go ahead and get into your reading pile number 2. I do feel we just need to take a couple deep breaths into your reading, okay? I was just chilling here, and then all of a sudden I got winded. So that feels good. Okay. The reason I say that is because I feel like sometimes when I go to read a pile, if something like that comes up, it's not like I'm winded. It's not like I was doing a bunch of exercise or something. It's that maybe you've been running yourself a little too hard and you need to slow down and take a couple deep breaths. I pick up on your energy. So take a couple deep breaths, be kind to yourself, and let's dive in. So what blessings and success are coming? These first 3 cards are going to represent that. So we have manifestation, what you desire is on its way. Patience, long road ahead, reward awaits, and hard work, commitment, and perseverance. So what this is you are going to have some serious success in your manifestations coming up. But what's going to happen is you're going to notice that you need to set your sights even higher. And this is great because you're going to commit to something else. Something you've been trying to manifest for a long time is finally going to come into fruition. And now you're going to be oh shit, don't get me wrong. You're going to really enjoy this time period. I'm getting really good energy from it. But you're going to be dang, once you have fully enjoyed this moment and what you have brought into your life, the success that's awaiting you, you're going to be dang, what do I want to create next? What do I want to do next? And the road ahead is going to seem a little daunting and a little long, but recognize that Spirit is saying you will have success in whatever you decide to commit to, because it is going to take work on your part. It is going to take perseverance, but you will be rewarded if you decide to commit. So basically your success is inevitable is what your guides are saying. It's not even one specific thing that you're going to be successful with. It's your path ahead is literally being blessed. You just need to decide what you want to commit on. So really awesome. Next we have what is changing in your life. We have the King of Stars. That's actually really cool because pile number 1 had a financial oriented card here too in the same position. So if you felt a kindred spirit to pile number 1, I would definitely tell you to check it out. Also, I just want to show you these cards. Like, the lighting in here does them no justice when I set them down. They're very, very beautiful. They are like gold foiling with watercolored images. One of my all-time favorite decks. I use this one on myself all the time. Absolutely stunning. But we also have for you the 6 of Wands. We have for you the 10 of Stars. Okay, you're getting a financial change. And the 4 of Crystals. Holy crap. Okay, so what is changing for you? It's not just your financial situation. There's more. So, y'all, I am so excited for you. I am so excited for you because these are all such like really positive things. So, number 1, if you were concerned about your financial situation, I'm just going to say it. Like, this is like big. This is not like, oh, I've just like gotten a new job and I'm making some income. No, this is a lot of money because it's King of Stars, which is the King of Pentacles, and the 10 of Stars. These are two, I would say they are the two. Like, when you get a King of Pentacles and a 10 of Pentacles in the same reading, this is like rich aunt, rich uncle, fuck you money. Like, this is making a lot of money. So manifesting a lot of money, and you're also going to be recognized. So if you like, I feel like this could be a little bit scary for some of you if like you would rather just fly under the radar, but like make a bunch of money and not really be noticed for it. That's definitely going to be a little bit harder, I feel like, for you. Unless you're wanting recognition, then this is going to be awesome because the 6 of Wands, this is like public recognition, people recognizing you. And this could be like literally going viral and making a bunch of money off of something viral. But ultimately, King of Stars, 10 of Stars, 6 of Wands, this to me like is like fame. Like, if you are a music producer, I'm hearing from Spirit, if you chose this pile, like your album is about to go out there. You are about to like put creations out that are just going to change your life completely for the better. Some of you, however, with the 4 of Crystals, this comes as like a reprieve. Like, this comes as rest. Like, you have been in survival mode for such a long time that this is like where you finally hit thrival and you're able to relax, take a sabbatical. You are able to actually rest very comfortably and very easily because you have built this foundation for yourself, is something that I'm hearing. So the change that's coming for you is you're going to have so much money that it's actually, you're going to feel like you're thriving and you're comfortable. And then 6 of Wands, that is like the recognition. 4 of Crystals is the resting, not being so productive with it. I feel like it's almost like this to me kind of goes hand in hand with your first few cards in terms of like your like something you've been manifesting. If you've been trying to really manifest like a lot of money, this is where it's finally going to happen. And you're actually going to get to rest because you can, I hate to say it this way, but like, I think this is something that you yourself have thought, and that's why, but it's like, you can finally afford to rest, which like, I would just like to offer to that. You are always allowed to rest at any point in your day. You don't have to like be somebody. You don't have to create something specific. You're always allowed to stop in your day and rest for 20 minutes, an hour, rest for a couple of days here and there. Like, you are always allowed to take rest. But I feel like some of you fear that if you rest, you won't get back up. And so you've been trying to like earn your rest. And something that is changing is you are finally going to experience that, but I think it's going to lead you to changing a lot in your life, because where you have had financial stress and like strain, you're going to realize that it wasn't just the finances that was stressful. It's also now like you having to take care of your mental health because you have a lot of beliefs around how you function in society that are not helping you sustain this wealth. So a little bit of a precautionary reading, but let's keep going. So then we have who or what is leaving your life. We have the 7 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. I don't know why, but pile number 2, I feel like you've been really holding yourself together when you feel like crumbling. And this is kind of leaving your life. Like, I think you're finally going to let yourself feel your emotions. If this is something that you don't do like routinely or like day by day or as they come, I do feel like that is something like the Queen of Cups to me is somebody that she really leads her life by her feelings, but also I would say that it comes with some form of emotional stability, not like the way that the king is like emotionally stable. It's a little bit different, but I feel like it's not that you're going to become emotionally unstable. I just feel like you're going to be more like willing to feel your feelings because you're going to recognize that has been the missing component. And the 7 of Wands and 9 of Wands, you're not going to be taking as much action. You have been an action-oriented person for a very long time. Like maybe even the past decade, I'm hearing. You have been putting in so much effort and so much work and so much time, and like just your energy is depleted. And Spirit is saying that what is leaving your life is this overproductivity and always feeling like you have to create and always feeling like you have to be on and always feeling like you have to be in like a certain season of your life. Like if we look at this metaphorically, I think a lot of us could agree in general that especially under capitalism, we are often pushed to always be in our like spring and summer mode, like beginning and then in the throes of creation, when everybody is cyclical in nature and we have an autumn and a winter too. Like there are time periods where you're not going to be able to be as productive in life, period. There are going to be time periods where you need to rest and recuperate your energy. And I feel like you have passed so many of those seasons and continued to persevere, which has done good things for you, but I feel like it's catching up with you at this point. And I'm not saying you're going to like fall ill or anything. I don't do readings like that. I'm not a medical medium, but 7 and 9 of Wands tells me that like the thing that's leaving your life is this overproductivity and always feeling like you have to do it all consistently all the time and like basically hold your composure, hold yourself together when it's okay to let it all out. It's okay to rest. It's okay to not create every little thing that comes to your mind. And it's okay to not always feel like you have to see every little thing through. You know, you might even be somebody that is like a high achiever or an overachiever. And again, though that has probably benefited you in your lifetime, you're going to start to see how it has not benefited you in the long term. And this is why I think your first cards were long road ahead, hard work. It's not that you're going to be like doing labor intensive work. It's not that you're going to be working on like a career so hard. It's that you're going to start to be unlearning and peeling back layers of yourself. And that's going to be the hard work. Now that you have cultivated this place of deep rest and really like wintering is what I would consider this. Even if it's not winter where you live, wintering as a metaphor is like, you know, cozying up inside with your teas and your hot soups and just trying to like lay low while nature is not doing her thing. You're not doing your thing either. Like you've skipped a lot of winters in your life and that is catching up with you. And I know that like this might not be the reading that y'all came here to hear today. And I feel like I do that a lot. I will feel bad if like my reading isn't all sunshine and rainbows, but the reality is like, I'm not here to sugarcoat things for you. I'm here to channel and give you what Spirit is giving to me. So I know this probably isn't what you want to hear, but this is where we're at. But let's keep going and see what else we got. So the next area is the like big announcement or the up level that's coming into your life. Like this is like what I really got from Spirit with this one is that like this is a thought process or like an emotional evolution that's coming into your life that's going to benefit you. So we have this moment Sorry. This moment will be a mere memory one day. Are you making the most of it? So I feel like this time, like, oh, this is it's such a hard lesson, I feel like, to learn sometimes. And only recently has this one like smacked me in the face. So I feel like I have some things to say, but like, I remember a time in childhood where I just couldn't wait to be an adult and grow up. My husband and I both talk about this actually, how both of us could not wait to leave the nest. Both of us could not wait. And some people don't grow up feeling that way. Some people don't want to leave. They can't imagine leaving their hometown or their parents. Both my husband and I are not those people. We've lived away from our family for all of our adult lives. I'm the youngest of seven, and he's the only from his parents. And both of us do not feel this direct pull, like we need to be around the village to prosper. And it's kind of weird that I feel like we both kind of like, we saw a kindred spirit in the other one, I feel like. But my point to bringing this up is that I couldn't wait to grow up. I wanted to grow up so fast. I wanted to grow up. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have a house. I could not wait. These were the things that child me dreamed of. Instead of like playing imagination, I was dreaming of being an adult. And then even in my 20s, when I was like working to become self-sustaining and being an entrepreneur, I couldn't wait until I got to a place where I made my like first 10K month, or where I got to a place where I was like sustaining off of my creative ideas and business and like making that a lifestyle. I couldn't wait for that. And now at 32, having done that, I look back at those younger versions of myself and I go, dang, I wish I had enjoyed that time more. I wish I had taken time to slow down more. Like, yeah, kind of like with what we've been talking about here, I gained a lot from doing that and not noticing and not taking time to stop and smell the roses. I didn't realize that one day I would yearn for that time period in my life. And you can't really know what you don't know. And like, don't get me wrong, I love being 32. I love where I am in my life right now. I'm in a much more stable place. My relationships are better. Like, I'm more self-assured and confident than I used to be. There are so many great things that have come with this phase of my life. But I just think about that younger version of myself and how like all the things that she struggled to try to do, and how I should have been easier on her, how I should have been kinder and spoken kinder to myself, and how in the moments where like even I traveled, I wish I had just taken the time to really let it sink in and enjoy it more, you know? And so the thing that I'm trying to point out is like right now, today, you will never be the age that you are right now ever again. You will never have today the exact same day again. You will never be in the position that you're in right now. And for some of you, you could say like, yeah, I'd like to be out of it, which I totally respect that. But I swear sometimes you remember those versions of yourself and you will want to go back. You will wish that you could be there to hug them. And like, it's hard to explain if you haven't experienced that. And I'm not trying to like create ageism or anything. It's something I actually actively try not to support. But the thing is, like, are you making the most of where you are right now? Because it's okay if you're not focused on your future every single day. It's okay to make the most of where you are right now today. And then we have a message from your guides that they needed you to hear, which you got the card Dream Gates. And this card, Dream Gate, we're actually going to read it from the book. This card says, connection with the subconscious dreams as communication. How funny. I talked about this in pile number 1 as well. I had a little anecdote about like dreams. But this card says, this card comes as a gentle ally to help open up a dialogue with your dreams. As you are now being encouraged to focus on your sleep hygiene practices, when are you able to work with your dreams? It may be easier to decipher thoughts and feelings within your subconscious that may need some attention. As you become more familiar with your dreams, it is easier to interpret the transcendent guidance that shines through their messages. Perhaps you will want to keep a dream journal to help support the process. Our dreams often point us in the direction of our desires and suppressed emotions, so it can help us to take notes. It can help us to take notes of how you are feeling upon waking each morning. Seed your intentions before you sleep and reflect on what arises when you take note of the symbols and messages that appear. Look to this watery card as a celebration of all the rests beneath the surface. So, all that rests beneath the surface. If you felt a kinship to pile number 1, I would encourage you to go back and listen to it. But something that I said in that first reading, I'll just give you a small snippet, was that something that somebody pointed out to me in interpreting your dreams is don't think of your dreams as literal. I mean, you can if you want to, but think of every person and everything that happens in your dreams when you sleep as a version of you. So if somebody dies in your dream, think of that as a version of you being like put to rest. If somebody is unkind in your dreams, think of that as a version of you that's unkind to yourself. Taking that lens over your dreams can really create some insane knowledge from within. So I would encourage you to do that. And to also, like, your guides are calling you to have better sleep hygiene. Like, make sure that you're like tending to your nighttime routine, putting yourself to sleep gently. I'm not going to tell you how to do that because I think every person has a different way of doing it and your pathway is up to you. I would encourage you to listen to my podcast if you want to hear more about things like that, because I think I do have a whole episode on sleep hygiene that I covered. I want to say it was like episode 76, maybe. I can't be sure. I don't remember, but it was something about like sleep in the title. So, in any case, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. If you would like to get any of these decks, be sure to check them out. All of the links and everything will be down below. And if you would like to support me as a small creator, I do have my Patreon available to you where I put out weekly astrology and tarot scopes for y'all. I also put out a card of the month, and every month we also meet together and have a community night where we discuss all kinds of spiritual topics. So definitely check it out if you want to be part of that. We have so much fun, and I really genuinely love my Patreon community. And if you would like to see more of me because I'm your favorite tarot card reader, I know that when I say that, that triggers some people. It's fine. I laugh because my intention behind it is so innocent, and some people take it so seriously. Y'all, it's not meant to be that deep. But because I'm your favorite tarot card reader, be sure to follow me on social media. I'm at Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm at Kloee Taylor. If you'd like to follow me, please do. And my podcast, as I already mentioned, Divine Authenticity, it's available every Monday, 4:44 a.m. Available everywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so at KhloeTaylor.com, as well as get my course, The Authentic Self. If you're struggling to meet yourself deeper, take your healing journey to the next level, I would encourage you to check out my course that's available. And I really do believe it does help. I use that coursework myself. That's why I made it, because it's a product that I myself use. But in any case, thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. All right, pile number 3. If you chose the Stillness card, this is going to be your reading. And before we get into it, I just wanted to once again tell you about Tarot Stack. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for sponsoring today's video. And if you don't know what Tarot Stack is a website where you can actually purchase independently made or like indie tarot decks. So every deck that we use today in this reading is actually from Tarot Stack, and I really love getting decks from them and sharing them. Like literally every time they want to work with me, I'm like, yes, I would love to work with you, because, and like y'all notice, I don't take very many sponsors on my channel. I always jump at the opportunity because I feel like they are just like a very ethical company, and they also like, they just, to me, it is such like an integral, it's such an integral thing to do, to want to get independent artists out there. So instead of, like, it's basically like supporting a small business, and their decks are absolutely wonderful. Like all the decks that you see today, they're on great cardstock. I use them constantly and they're not falling apart. Like the foiling and everything is really good on the decks that have that. So if you like any of the decks you see today, just know that they are from Tarot Stack. I will link them all down below in the order of appearance. If you want to get them for yourselves, be sure to use my coupon code as well, which will be in the description box for you. And thank you so much, Tarot Stack. Let's go ahead and get into it. So if you chose the Stillness card, we're first going to start with what blessings and success are coming for you. So we have stillness, which says lack of movement, flow, see where it takes you, and energy, intensity, passion, and power. So the fact that stillness is your main card with like what success and blessings are coming, I think you would actually really like stillness. Like you are wanting a little bit more rest in your life. You're wanting more stillness. And that is something that is coming into your life. You are going to have the ability to be a little more still, rest a little bit more. And you're currently working towards that. So, excuse me. So with the energy and flow, I feel like right now, what is going to create this stillness in your life, this like moment of rest. The word sabbatical has been like on my mind today. I don't know if like spirit just is noticing a collective need for people to take like bigger breaks, but with flow and energy coming out, these two cards tell me that you are putting some passion and energy behind something right now. You are giving your time and attention to something. And the reason for this is it's actually going to create, I'm hearing like passive income. It's going to create passive income for you. So if some of you have been working on that, Spirit is saying that you're going to have success in that. You're going to have a success in accomplishing your goal of creating more passive income so that you can take more time to yourself. And I do see that some of you maybe are having a hard time making the things or creating it. And Spirit is saying like you need to just stop questioning yourself so hard, because the more that you let it flow and just put energy towards it, the easier it's going to become. So just like, I'm not really sure what that means for you. Spirit isn't really giving me anything else, but that's like the main point. So your next two parts of this reading, Spirit actually had me reverse your cards, not like put them in the reverse, but in piles 1 and 2, the different card sets were switched, and Spirit was like, nope, these cards are for this question. So your reading is actually a little special compared to the other two. So the next question is, what in your life is changing? We have the 3 of Wands, we have the King of Pentacles, and we have the 10 of Wands. So what in your life is changing? This is really cool too, because I want to say pile number 1 had the King of Pentacles as well, but what is changing in your life is your financial situation is changing, which I love this. I feel like so many people are wanting this in their life right now. And that's why I keep tapping into this like collective energy of it. But your financial situation is actually improving. So this is why I brought up the passive income, because I feel like that's something that you've really been striving towards. And Spirit is saying that you're in the right mind for it. You're in the right mind. You're in the right place. It's like you are right place, right time, right thing. You are right on the money with it. And Spirit is just like using this reading right now to give you confirmation that you need to keep persisting. I'm also seeing with this Three of Wands that some of you really want to travel more. Like you might even want to like live the laptop lifestyle or like be into like digital entrepreneurship. Spirit is saying that you're going to have a lot of success with travel. Like if you are fearing that like maybe you want to make plans this year, but you're afraid they won't happen, Spirit is ultimately saying that the blessings and success that are coming are that of travel. You are going to be able to travel. You are going to be able to afford to travel in the way that you want to. You need to just trust and don't stop. Don't stop what you're currently doing. And the 10 of Wands, this tells me that I love how the 10 of Wands in this deck is articulated, because check this out. It's like these matches are all burnt out, right? But they're still going this way. They're still trying. And I actually think that your success is coming because you have continued to persevere. You have continued to try. You have continued to put yourself out there. You've continued to try things from new angles. And I do feel like it is a slippery slope into burnout and you need to be careful. However, you are like literally like 2 feet from gold. Like you are so close to achieving what you are setting your sights upon that the 10 of Wands is saying like, don't give up now. Normally the 10 of Wands is like, you're taking on too much. You need to slow down. But in this instance, because it is also over this energy card too, it's like speed up so you can slow down. And for some people, that's not the energy that would work for them. For you, this is the energy that will work for you. Speed up a little bit. Make this your primary focus for a little bit. And you will be rewarded with that stillness. You will be rewarded. Like, I feel like you and me, pile number 3, we need to be besties, because this is something that I feel like I'm working towards. Like me and you, we're on the same wavelength. Okay. We are on the same wavelength. And I would also like to point out that the stillness here, it looks like a wintry scene. Like there's like snowy mountains, trees. Maybe to me, it looks like this could be like an iced over lake. Maybe your plan is to rest or travel in the winter time and like experience more pleasure in your life instead of constantly burning the candle at both ends. So Spirit is saying the blessings coming to you is you are going to achieve this. You are going to achieve this. It is inevitable. You will travel. You will make a change in your financial status. And Spirit is now going to tell us what in your life is actually changing. And this is so crazy. You actually got the 3 of Wands twice. So I'm getting the chills. This is like such a positive omen for you. So what in your life is currently changing? No, I'm sorry. This is what is changing. This next part is what in your life is leaving, which still though the message applies. So what in your life is leaving? We have the 2 of Crystals, which like, look at these cards. The way that my camera is positioned today is going to do these no justice. Know that all the cards are this bright and this beautiful, and they look even cooler in person. But what in your life is leaving? Or like it's either a person or a thing. So we have 2 of Crystals, 3 of Wands. So 3 of Wands again. 4 of Stars. And the 7 of Crystals. Okay. I love this. If you really are an entrepreneur and you pick this pile, I need you to understand how awesome this is. So 2 of Crystals, the thing that's leaving your life is a lack of decision, a lack of direction, a lack of clarity. That is going to be a thing of the past. Your focus has been coming clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer with what you are meant to be doing right now. And Spirit is ultimately saying that that will be a thing of the past. You are going to know exactly what to do. And whether it's channeled in, downloaded in, you see it on a podcast or something, there is clarity that is coming through and you are not going to feel stuck anymore. The 3 of Wands coming out twice. Okay. So this as like something that's leaving your life, because you also got this as something that is changing in your life. What this says to me is I feel like you have really wanted to travel for a long time. You have wanted to be that person when you see other people online, like going to Italy for the summer or going to Japan, or like the reason that Spirit puts it on your heart to travel is because you are supposed to. It is something that shifts your perspective. It changes you for the better. And these are experiences that your soul is meant to have. And so what is changing for you, what is leaving your life, is this idea that you can't have it. This idea that like, oh, those people can travel, but I could never travel. That is just too expensive. I will never make enough money to do that. Like those ideas are leaving, and you are literally becoming somebody that is going to travel the world. So I just like, good news for you. If you are somebody that has such a strong desire to travel, you're going to be granted that. Like the back half of this year, I'm telling you, you're going somewhere. It might even be a few places. You might be going more than one place, but you are going somewhere. And I really get the instance that it's going to be international travel. Like I think you're actually going somewhere far, but for some of you, it could just be traveling within your country to new places. But it's this idea that you can't, like you are having your horizons expanded because you are meant to have these experiences. And then the Four of Stars, something else that's changing for you is this concept of how there's never enough. Or maybe you deal with a lot of scarcity mindset when it comes to money, that like money can't support you. You can't be supported, or you're always going to have to work really hard. Remember, this is a mentality that you're already working through. So what is leaving is that scarcity mindset. You're actually going to overcome your scarcity mindset, and it's going to change you. And then the Seven of Crystals, some of you have a really big blockage around betrayal, like being betrayed by others or institutions, or there might even be like self-sabotage. That is something that's also leaving your life. You are no longer going to self-sabotage yourself. Some of you, I'm also hearing, have a really weird relationship with selling goods or services. Like you feel like it's scummy or bad, or you have this impression that you're not allowed to, when you are allowed to. There's actually nothing wrong with selling anything. Like, just let me talk at you for just a minute as myself, not channeling. Y'all know, if you've never come across my channel before, let me enlighten you. Not only do I do this for a living, read tarot cards on YouTube, like I have my podcast. I have a really like highly successful course that many people have used to change their lives. It's called the Authentic Self Course. It has sold extremely well because it is highly effective. And like I haven't even had to market that. Not really. It has sold by word of mouth. It sells extremely well because it actually works. And I used to think that I shouldn't talk about my other things. Like I shouldn't talk about my Patreon. I shouldn't talk about my courses. I shouldn't talk about selling private readings because that makes me a scummy salesperson. And I'm just supposed to be this fountain of love and light that gives and gives and gives and gives on YouTube for free. Even though, of course, there are ads that I get paid through. Gotta tell you, AdSense, unless you are getting hundreds of thousands of views per video, AdSense does not pay diddly. 90% of my income does not come from AdSense. I do this as a passion for basically free compared to everything else that I do. I'm telling you this because I am feeling a similar energy of you have a relationship with like pricing yourself and your worthiness that it's what is leaving your life. You are going to start to understand that it is okay for you to do those things. It is okay for you to sell products. It is okay for you to decide that you want to earn a lot of money from AdSense, which is possible. It's okay for you to put yourself out there on social media, even if people that know you are going to see it. It's safe and it's okay for you. It's better than okay for you. And this fear and this idea that you can't do it or you're not allowed or it's going to make you a bad person if you do is something that is falling away from your consciousness because you're proving to yourself through actually doing it that it's okay. Like, do you know how many comments I receive when people get mad at me for talking about my Patreon, for talking about the things that I do outside of YouTube? Like, so many of them get filtered into spam anyways, but like so many people are like, I'm unsubscribing from your channel because you're just one big ad for yourself. Like so many comments come across me like that. Okay. And that's okay. People are allowed to have that opinion. People are allowed to cast judgments. People are allowed to think what they want. And it's not for me to change their mind, because for one person, they're going to have the experience based off of their own experience that Kloee Taylor's a walking billboard. But somebody else that deeply needs that coursework that I have made or really would benefit from a private reading from me, they're going to hear that and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to go grab that. And that is going to be the thing that changes their life. And you have to know that there are people out there like that that will look at you that way. You will be somebody that will change someone's life. And it's not that you need to have a big head about it. I don't have a big head about it. I'm extremely grateful for the position that I'm in. And like, sometimes I'll just sit and weep about how like awesome it is that this is what I get to do. And like the feedback that I get from people that I've helped is just like so overwhelmingly sweet that I don't even know how I got so blessed to get to do what I get to do. But my point to telling you this is you have to stop beating yourself up about wanting more for yourself and advertising yourself, because there's nothing wrong with doing that. You are allowed to advertise yourself. And if you had a platform of hundreds of thousands of people, on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, it's not wrong for you to advertise your product or your baby or the thing that you believe in that would help somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. There are going to be people that are going to judge you for doing it, that are going to tell you that you shouldn't. But those aren't the people that you're probably going to help. You're going to help other people that see that as a positive. So I don't know why I felt really called to speak on that to you. Please let me know in the comments down below if that helped you in any way in your business. I honestly probably need to dedicate a couple of episodes of my podcast to just talking about business. I'm always afraid to do it, but I think it's something that a lot of people would actually benefit from in the creative space, because I've been here for 10 years, not on this channel, but doing other things. And like, I consider myself to be like a seasoned online digital creator. So in any case, this 7 of Crystals tells me that you keep putting yourself down though, and you keep putting your products down. You keep saying that like, you can't make passive income. You can't do this thing for whatever reason. And the fact of the matter is you can. There is nothing different between you and somebody else that you idolize that does that. The only difference is like your lack of trust in yourself. And it's okay for you to start trusting yourself, bestie. I hope that you do. I hope that this reading was the thing that lit a fire under your ass and convinced you to start doing it, to make the printable sheets, to decide to create a course, to decide to offer readings on YouTube, okay, whatever it is. I want to see you succeed. I hope that this is the reading that has convinced you that you are worthy of success. Okay, we're going to move on. I'm sorry. I know that was a lot. So the next thing is the big announcement, the big thing that is going to up-level your life once you let this concept sink into your mind, into your subconscious. This one came directly from your spirit guides. They wanted this. They told me that this was going to be loud for you. And there is no beginning or end to growth. You are forever expanding. So something you need to realize, especially if you are a perfectionist or a people pleaser, you need to recognize that you will never be done. You will never be done growing, expanding, becoming the next version of yourself. And there are going to be things that you will heal from, but then you're going to be introduced to new things in your lifetime. There is no ultimate healed version of self that just never has a bad day. And the sooner you can get with it and recognize that your life journey is an ever expanding journey of turning new things over and self-discovery, self-awareness, you are going to get really comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is a beautiful place to be, because you don't fear anything. Nothing can really truly scare you anymore, because you will know I've got my back, and whatever comes my way, I'm going to be able to if I can't handle it, I'm going to figure out how to handle it. And there is no beginning or end to growth. You are an ever expanding person. And I know sometimes it can feel like, oh, if I just had this house, or if I just had this amount of money, or if I just had this thing, everything in my life would be easier and like life would just be peaceful. But the thing is, when you actually choose peace as your baseline, when you demand of yourself that you have more good days than bad days, you will start to create them in your daily life instead of waiting to receive something to give yourself the permission to have it. I hope that that makes sense. And the last card I have for you is one that your spirit guides really wanted you to have as well. And that is Deep Mysteries. And we are going to read this one right out of the book because I do not know all of these cards by heart, unfortunately. So this card says, invitation into the great mysteries of life, cultivating inner wisdom, acknowledging subtleties, peeling back the layers. Sometimes going deeper into the nuances is the best way to understand something complex. You are being guided to reconnect with stillness without any noise. Oh my God, and you got the stillness card. To feel into the situation head on and ask yourself what you truly believe. The unveiling can take time, but there is value in trusting your deeper intuitive senses and the whispers of your heart. So before I continue, I just want to say, part of your stillness isn't just creating more stillness in your life, like in the future. Part of your stillness is also about questioning the limiting beliefs that you have right now as to why you cannot be still, why you cannot have this time. The key is not about seeking answers from others to come to a decision. Examine the physical sensations you hold when you weigh out all of the variables. If something is not as it seems, seek a way to unearth more information. Look beyond the assumed truths and witness the many facets that are being shared. Acknowledge the energies that are infused in the situation, both positive and negative, as you can gauge everything from here. Trust in your natural discernment to clarify any nebulous facts or feelings. So that is what I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. I appreciate you. Be sure to check out their decks down below. And if you would like more from me around the web, don't forget to check out my course, The Authentic Self. It's available on my website as well as private readings, KhloeTaylor.com. I also have my Patreon where I do tarot and horoscopes every single week for you if you want to be a part of that. I also do monthly community nights, and there's a card of the month and so much more. There's also a backlog of like something crazy. I swear we're at like over 300 posts now to the Patreon that when you join, you get access to all of them. So there's like extra private readings there that have never come to YouTube. They're only on my Patreon. I feel like my Patreon is actually super worth it. I love my Patreon community. Y'all are the best. But if you want to support me as a small creator, please do consider checking it out. I also have my podcast available to you, Divine Authenticity, if you would like to listen in every Monday morning at 4:44 a.m. Pacific. We're like 144 episodes deep now. Such a good podcast. It's such a good time. Definitely check that out. And am I forgetting anything? Probably. Because I'm your favorite tarot card reader, please don't forget to check out my Instagram, my Twitter, my TikTok. I've been trying to make a little bit more of a conscious effort, at least to be on Instagram. So I'm at Kloee Taylor. Please do follow. And I love you so much. Please do not forget, when you stand on your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.